Everybody, good morning. Sometimes we do pretty good. I was trying not to be biased on Tesla, but I was a little more bullish than bearish. I have to admit, more positive things going than negative. And boom. And Sergio, you're gonna get a kick out of this. You're gonna get a kick out of this. Let me share the screen and then pull this over. And let's see, open a window. And I'm gonna have to do a couple things here, make sure it's right. And here we go, right here. Look at this. There we go, right there. That's on the back of the Cybertruck, right there. Isn't that great? Didn't win the lottery, but sometimes I get lucky. Well, there's no but I didn't win the lottery. Sometimes I get lucky. And it has a like it's a gloss, black gloss. My dad was following me on the way back, and he was like, "That thing is pretty sick." Anyway, there you go. You guys are some of the first ones to get to see that right there. Except for anybody that was behind me, I guess. And welcome, everybody. Channel member Gaten, channel member Sergio, channel member Don, channel member Rob, Svenborn, Arturo, Rex, Don, Ronald, Ivan, Darren, Don, Dan, Sledge. Good to see everybody. General Rush and Cliff. Welcome, everybody. Click a link over here, down here, if you want to. I guess it's on the other side, actually. Flip it back over. Click the link over here if you want to chat with me on the live stream while we're live and be a part of the whole thing. If you want to comment on the tailgate of the truck. And I threw the front view into the, I guess it's Jokes and Memes channel this morning. It looks very Batmobile-esque. I guess I could pull that up really quickly since y'all are here. I didn't post it last night for members. I just, it was a busy evening after picking that up and a few other things. So anyway, let's see, pop this out, pull it over, and share. There we go, right there. There you go. That's the, it has kind of a, like I said, it's a shiny blue kind of color. And it's matte black in the shade and has a metallic blue, like this navy blue you're kind of seeing is that, like, that's the color. This matte black is like the way it looks, but it has this blue metallic in it, and it's a very 3D effect. It's really neat. So hopefully, it's very Dark Knight Batmobile-esque. Got the windows tinted to match, and looks pretty dang cool. Everybody says, like, it looks pretty dang cool. Even the people that wrapped it were like, this is probably the coolest one we've ever done. So, of course, coolest until they do the next cool one. So they actually had some people wanting to go buy a Cybertruck now. That it come through. Anyway, so went and picked it up last night, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So there you go. All right, and that was Foxy Wraps. For anybody in the local area, you need somebody to do that. Foxy Wraps right there. Foxy Wraps of Tennessee. So anyway, back to it. Right there. Boom. Now we do have to get through this 618 consolidation right here. We get through that. Boom. Right there. That's the first target. And then we have those higher targets we talked about. And wrong, we're sitting on cloud 9, even though we're not at all-time highs yet, or, you know, even like local year-to-date highs. But we oughta be able to get the heck out of here. We took back the robo event. Let's get out of here. Let's get through the resistance. Let's get her at her. Let's get her moving. And I guess before we talk about that too much, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any stocks or options or bonds or forex or futures or cryptos or treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. If you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's not what I do. Not what I do. All right. I don't give you financial advice. I don't tell you what to do. And yeah, 5-digit gains overnight, I'll do it to you. When your net wealth increases that much, it's pretty great, right? All right. Yeah, Wronger, we're sitting on a couple of shares, at least. And I got a bunch of TSLA that's looking pretty darn sweet today. I kind of added more. And silver and gold looking pretty sparky too. So we'll talk about all that here in a minute. Today we have Flash Services and Flash Manufacturing PMI coming out after the open here at 9:45 right here. This should cause a little bit of volatility while we're live. I don't have an alarm set, but we do have those coming up here in a few minutes. I guess in 25-ish minutes, 24-ish minutes. And probably cause some volatility. And we do have the new home sales right there too. So that's jumping in there. Going to cause some volatility. That's the last real... I mean, we do have core durable goods orders and stuff like that tomorrow, but those aren't usually big movers, but we may see some volatility. Then we have some consumer sentiment tomorrow, inflation expectations. I mean, this thing's kind of stacked between now and the election. Actually, yeah, after the election. We have FOMC after the election, so we've got this thing pretty stacked all the way through, and it's gonna be spicy. I mean, that's for those of you that, you get sick of me saying that, but it's gonna be spicy for now. I mean, here's what we got coming up today. Deckers Brand, Dexcom. No huge ones. We had Tesla, of course, last night. IBM, Newmont Mining. I haven't even looked at that. T-Mobile was in there. UPS this morning, Southwest, NASDAQ. I mean, the list was pretty big. Carrier, so I shouldn't stall too long. We should go start getting into the list because it was a heck of a big list here. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming, and thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting me and my family. And that's the whole deal. Kimberly, a little bit under the weather this morning. Don't expect her to make a show, but she may pop in here. And so that I stayed long. I didn't get short. I was trying not to bias anybody. I hate people losing money. Earnings events are relatively unknown events, but between talking to Rongamer, now owning a Tesla, and the attention we kind of give this one, I kind of had I feel like I'm starting to be on the pulse of where we're heading with this one. May see this breakout. 350 first target's really this zone up here, and then 500 has been my long-term target for a long time. long time. Yeah, 3 or 4 years I've had this 500 target up there. When we get there, time will tell. Time will tell. We'll likely see some resistance at the 350 area. Pullback could last a little while, maybe a year, and then we could pop up there. Of course, that's just speculating, but I'm looking at this consolidation here, and the fact we did a giant kind of 1, 2, so we may shoot on up through there. It may not even stop at 500. So that's the way the cookie crumbles there. So, good to have you, Frank and Jim and Tom and Jason, Bob, Rongamer, of course. Glad to have everybody. Glad to see you this morning. And let's talk about the S&P here. S&P. I guess, I've kind of been breaking this down on the... Look at that. See what it did? Look right here. See those highs right there? Went up, hit the next target. Retraced, retested right there yesterday. Potentially gives it the all clear for that move right there. It's kind of funny how this works. Climbing the fib ladder. See how we hit that level, retraced, hit that level, retraced, boom. Maybe. Sometimes I get lucky. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, Michael, I posted some pictures of the truck there. Shared them. There, it's in the Jokes and Memes channel in Discord, and then I shared them at the beginning of the video. I know you were anxiously awaiting what it looked like. Dun, dun, dun. So ES, let's break it down a little bit. try to keep it moving because the list is long. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at that flush out. And right into the, I mean, actually got a little more excited than I hoped for. I mean, I kind of drew this giant target over here. Look what we did yesterday. Now, V bottom. Finally building some constructive price action here. Well, called that one. As always, a little more optimistic than, we didn't quite get to that one. Almost got there. Still the potential to get there. We're stopped at the 15-minute roadmap line. This is not an all clear until we're back above this level up here. Back above 59, we can talk about the upside. If we just bounce down, we're coming down here. All right, that's the thing. So that's high level, big picture. That's what to watch right there. So that level up there, right around 59, got to get above it to go higher. Maybe like, well, duh. I'm just giving you levels, all right? It's not immediately obvious to everybody. And I mentioned yesterday when we break down below this uptrend of lows, we're probably going to flush. That's certainly what we did yesterday. And now we're right back up, testing the 15-minute. We break back inside this. Probably going on up. That all in here. Looking at this. It's right down between the 1 and the 1272. You'd be like, how do you know? Like this move right there, first move down, that was 5 waves, which concerning. This move, 3 waves, corrective. And then this move was the last move right there. Took a roundabout's way to get there, but it got there. Now, we have the reason I think this may be done, just to help everybody kind of get with me, even though we haven't broken above this yet. See this low right here, where we are right now? That right there is not just choppy sideways right now. That's potential, like we're unlikely to be having trending continuation lower if we got this overlap. All right. The trend is down into this low right here. All right. We started with the high right here. The trend was down into this low right here. That one right there. So how do you mess up a trending move? You create overlap. All right. This high being the operative high right now. We dropped, popped, we dropped, we've popped, and now we created overlap with the first drop and the current rally. That overlap indicates we are unlikely to get continuation lower at the current. Now, that doesn't mean it won't happen. It certainly can. All right, we're still below the trend line. We're still slightly biased down until we break out over these highs. We've got to get through those highs, then that high, and then we're likely, big picture, we're still set to go up to that target zone on the daily chart. What target zone is that? Right here. We've been talking about it for a few days. Right up here. This one up here, 21,500. Possibly all the way up to 22,000. This is NASDAQ futures. And there's the market open. Sounded like, yeah, my watch is running a few seconds behind. There, the cash index is NDX. Why do I use the futures? Because, well, this stopped trading yesterday at the close and just now started trading right now. NQ, on the other hand, traded all night and potentially breaking back higher. I'm going to take us up to the target land up here. There's a bunch of stuff firing off. Russell. Very interesting. So watch. I would watch for this one to do, if we stop at this 618 level, we rally up the next day or 3, stop right there, start back down. If we stop there, it could be an opportunity to buy a put. A small position. This would be a not like a higher, well, it's a higher probability trade, but not like I'm going to win the jackpot type situation. If it holds that 618, it's a setup to flash down, and it could just gap down to the roadmap line right there. I may buy a put right there. And like, you're like, well, JT, how do you do that? Be this one right here. IWM, I'd be looking for this to come up here and hit the 618 and possibly bounce down. Look at the proportions on that. It's just like too perfect if it did it. Look at that. 1272. It'd be almost a perfect hit right there. Almost too perfect a trade right there to pass up. These opportunities don't come along every day. When you see it, small risk, you know, small risk. No more than 1%, you know. That's usually my standard. So I may go like 0.5% or 1/4% risk on that one instead of 1% risk. Looking for that. And it may not work. Like it may blast off and go hit the target on the upside, because when you look at the daily on Russell, well, the high probability is to go cruising on up here, 2370. So there you go. Oh, nice. Gold just closed out. Fudge, yeah. Freak yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Congratulations to anybody that rocked that one. I mean, 50% gain is a sweet gain. Gold rush, man. That's just a trade that just works. I love it. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time it seems like it pays out. It's pretty sweet. I mean, it's just like so low stress. Like, some people overcomplicate things. I'll just leave it at that. Gold, look at that rally. If we didn't even make new highs, we just popped up, made 50% gains overnight. We got in yesterday, late in the day, and here we are today, closing out. GLD was the weapon of choice. Just gapped up and boom, right there. Gold potentially, that, look, hit the 1618, retraced right to the 1272. This is the classic move, right? Like, this is during bullish moves. That, look, we went up, retraced back, hit the next one, retraced back, hit the next one. That's kind of the way, like, climbing the fib ladder right there. Beautiful. Bitcoin. Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Here's the key right there. We get above that, it's going. Ooh, come on. Come on, baby. Let me just send an alert. I want to know. So we get about 70,000. Even though we've got this high over here, it's probably going right up here very, very quickly. We're talking really quickly. I almost bought another chunk of Bitcoin this morning. All right. If you don't have Bitcoin exposure, you want something relatively inexpensive, $30 right here. Buy a share. Buy a share. Not options. Buy a share. BitX right here. It's not really a trade until we get above this. This is leveraged. It may not follow the pattern. Right up there, 68. So we're talking about like a double right here. You could double your money. Bitcoin doesn't even have to double. You could double your money right here. 30 to 62. Heck, that's more than a double right there. I mean, that's, you'd be like, well, I don't like that one. Like, there's another one, BITU. It's another one, a little bit cheaper, but a little bit less liquid also. Yeah, go Tesla, go. Come on, baby. Above, look at that, getting above it. We close the day. That puts the target. Close the day above this 618. Puts the target at 273, 280. In the short term, on the path to 350. Maybe. Hey, it's on the list. Come on now. It's on the list. Dollar in the resistance zone, retracing. It's kind of funny. How long ago did I draw that on there? A week ago? 2 weeks ago? Week and a half ago? Drew that box on, or that oval on there. We tagged it right in the dang middle. Wow. I mean, you might think I do this for a living. Thanks for coming. thanks for subscribing. Thanks for following me. Thanks for it seems like for a while there we get like this funk where I'm not getting anything, and then all of a sudden all these things start hitting. Silver hit, Tesla hitting, gold hitting, I mean, dollar hitting. NKD back to the roadmap line as I speculated. Hopefully we hold this. This is very important right here. We need to hold this and launch. That needs to go higher if the US markets are going higher. If this breaks down, I have an alert right there. This breaks down, the US markets are going down with it. We do a big flush in the Japanese stock market. NKD1 exclamation point. Watch out. Now, that's at the targets. Probably be careful. So we're going to go through things that were popping and dropping. Tesla, of course, was number one on the list. And what I did, I pulled all the pre-market movers, things moving up $2 or more on the gainers list, things moving down $2 or more on the decliners list. We're going to go through them looking for opportunities today or in the coming days. And then we'll wrap up with some bonus trades, which my tool is actively searching because for some reason it crashed last night. And hopefully it got done. So, WST, nice pop, but this is medical specialty. If you're new here, there's 4 things that don't commonly follow the patterns. Low price stuff being one of them. That's low priced equities. Doesn't count cryptos or futures. Biotech is number 2, which includes anything the Food and Drug Administration of the United States is involved in, which includes medical specialties and biotechs and pharmaceuticals and all that kind of stuff. So this one, not one I really like to trade. Number 3, leverage stuff like the BTU, BTX, or BITX, BITU, Bitcoin leverage, anything. All right. Leverage doesn't always follow the proportions. So the targets may or may not work when we talk about leverage stuff. And the 4th one on the list, China stuff. Like things from China they have different standards of accounting, even though they're listed on US markets. They have different standards of accounting than US companies, and they don't always follow the patterns. Sometimes there's a wild, take a wild, crazy Ivan. Not trying to slam on you, Ivan, but sometimes we just do a crazy move that's unpredictable. So this one right here, I'd look for a playout at 357 maybe, if you were going after this one right here. KLAC, it doesn't mean there's no opportunity in those 4 things. It just, sometimes they're less reliable. I tend to stay away. Then there's some other patterns like the bubble pattern. I don't like that one. I tend to stay away from that. I mean, I try to catch it on the way up, but once we're already in it, just wait. And then there's 2 main patterns that I do follow. One of them is the roadmap bounce, and that's what we have drawn here. This high, this low, bounced off the roadmap line. As long as we're maintaining a higher low here, this has the potential to go on up to the target. Now, this candle right here makes it look like we might come down here. And that kind of leads to the second pattern, which is called a measured bounce. The measured bounce pattern, you kind of have to turn off the roadmap line, which we'll do really quickly so we don't get confused. It looks like this. We've got a move down, or a move can be up or down right there. First move. Second move comes up, hits the 618 level right there. This is technically a lower high. That continuation, we usually match the first move, which is what this red line is right here. And the extension of that is the 1272 and then the 1618. So that's the third move right here. All right. So those are the 2 common patterns I'm looking for. looking for a measured bounce pattern, and looking for a market roadmap line bounce pattern. I commonly call it the roadmap line. That's that orange line. If you want to know more about that, click the channel link, my name right under my video, right under my face here, the channel name. Click on that, go to the homepage. The video that starts playing on the homepage it says like my favorite indicator. That's this indicator right there. I give you the code and everything. But if you just want an easy button and a masterclass and a list of stocks that are doing it, links in the description. It's like $5. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. ASML, we're kind of hunting a bottom here. You can see it did a roadmap bounce right there, down to the targets. This was also a measured bounce. It turned into a roadmap bounce. Highly likely it was coming down here. We got it. And now we're waiting for something else to shape up. FNGU. This one has potential to go higher. It's a little bit of a coin flip. We're kind of still holding on to the potential that this is a measured bounce down to this kind of area right in here. And we have the potential this is a roadmap line bounce up to here. This is a leveraged instrument. All right. That's why it may not follow the pattern. It may just muck it up. It's a 3x leveraged ETN, exchange traded note. How's that different than a ETF? It has a term duration. This note is only good till January 8th, 2038. UPS, nice pop. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom. If you ever hear anybody say that, that means beat on earnings, beat on revenue. That's the top number. That's the bottom number. And a pop, but it's still, look at this. Still holding on to that downtrend. That could just be a roadmap bounce. Watch for that to break back below the 618. If we do, we may come down to the bottom of the box where the arrow is down here. So here's the level to watch right in here. We come back down. Watch for that. Right there. Not overly bullish until we start making higher highs above 147, 148, maybe 150 area for UPS. Got a little gravel in my throat this morning. FedEx, this looks like a better roadmap bounce, and it's positive. You see, there's a big difference here. This roadmap line, that's an uptrend, okay? Somebody was asking in Discord, I don't know if it's yesterday or the day before, how do you know it's an uptrend? Pull up the daily chart. Pull this over so you can see some roadmap line. Which way is the roadmap line pointing? That's an uptrend. Which way is the roadmap line pointing? That's a downtrend. There you go. Don't get this as a coincidence that DXY dropping the past couple of days. BRICS meeting was going on, but I haven't seen or heard any outcome. Because the BRICS don't matter. It's just charts, baby. NEM reported earnings this morning. That's what's up with NEM this morning. And FedEx. Big gap down over here on that earnings. We don't have earnings out here till all the way over here. If we break back above this level, maybe heading up to that target right there. But we could get an extension down, so be careful. Bulls. Another one of those 3x leveraged ETNs, and it's having a lot of trouble breaking out right here. A lot of trouble. If we can get above that gap down, we're going cruising on up here to 25 area. Coin rejected the break higher at the 618 and the downtrend of highs. If we can get through it, targets are up here, 312, 340. Just waiting on that one. I do hold CONL. I hold shares of this, not options. This one's going to outperform, very likely, if coin breaks out. I'm holding on to that. PALL, Palladium. Oh man, look at it. Something's up with Palladium. Look at that move. Rock and roll, baby. That one may be heading up here. Why did I flip over to futures? Because, like I said, more complete information. PALL is only going to trade a limited time of day. That's why I look at GC instead of GLD. These ETFs are just that. They're derivatives, all right? If you go to the core, you go to the underlying, you get a better, more complete picture. This potentially bottomed right here. This, I mean, kind of tagged just the top of my target zone there. Taking off. Looked like a roadmap bounce. We're at a potential resistance here. But if it's going to be super bullish, which it may be, super bullish. Got that low, got this high. Didn't really measured bounce, but if it's going to be super bullish, move that one, and the target becomes right up here. Right around 120 to 130. Maybe as high as 140. We'll see. CLS, man, nice. That high, that low, we're right up to the target, even though we just got to retrace. Boom, earnings. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom, pushing it higher. 67.71 upside. AMAT, sideways is what I expect. GE Veranova just keeps rocking and rolling. Next resistance up, 330. T-Mobile. I think people are like, you want to play on SpaceX. Here you go. They are getting close to turning on. I mean, it already happened in Florida and North Carolina and Georgia, I guess, that they turned on texting from cell phones. I think maybe just Florida. They got emergency authorization to test it out, have direct to cell communications through SpaceX. T-Mobile is going to be the way to take advantage of this in a public way for the next little bit. Now, that all said, we're starting to go a little exponential here. We may find resistance at 244, 279, possibly way up here, 400, 500. If, in fact, we do this, watch out for that. All right. It's that chart right there. We go straight up, we tend to come right back down. It may not be fast. It can take a while, but tend to consolidate in here and then break down eventually. Happens over and over and over in the markets. So put it on the right scale, or just in the beginnings of what could go absolute insane to the upside. MSTR. Nice. We're basically at targets and 240, 300 on the upside. ZLab. And right there you go. We got this resistance right here. We're kind of meant to kind of played out this move already, so I expect a retrace on ZLab. TSLR. Tesla 2x leverage. There's another one. I use TSLL right there. That's the one that's my weapon of choice. TSLR is another one, 2x leverage. So KKR still rocking and rolling. Last roadmap bounce was right back there. 150 upside. VKTX resistance there, target up there, 110. Resistance, got to get through that consolidation at 75 and 80. CRWD. If this one can fill that gap, we are game on for a much bigger upside on CRWD. LRCX, Lam Research, did a split, 10 for 1. Splits have not been overall bullish in the market lately. It seems like everything that splits tends to do a correction. That one right back to the lows, kind of holding a double bottom. Possibly we could build off of that, but highly likely we see an extension down to one of these levels before we get out of here. USD, Ultra Pro Semiconductors has not broken out. We have that gap down, and we've not been able to fill that gap yet. Very cautious there. TSLT is another leveraged Tesla. Potential for that to bounce big. That's a measured bounce on there. Targets are ridiculous. Talking about up here, maybe 24, maybe 29, maybe 36. If you want to get a piece, maybe almost, you could double your money if we go from 16 to 36 right there. Play shares, don't play options. Options, I mean, it's like, do you want to cover yourself in gasoline and then go play with matches in a nitroglycerin factory while concrete trucks are driving through? I mean, if that's what you want to do, play options on leverage. Otherwise, just play the shares. All right, that's why they're there. SMH coming up next. That one potentially bottoming. TMDX, SMH. Still that same resistance. We have that gap down up there, and all those semiconductors kind of looking the same. SDRL. Seadrill. That's a horrible looking chart. I don't think I'd get involved right now. Not looking complete on the downside. SOXX, another semiconductor ETF, and we're just sitting there. Just sitting there at the roadmap line. This is not even as bullish as like USD. NVIDIA. Now, you notice NVIDIA recently made a higher high. This one, not. This one's lagging severely. NVIDIA, trying to crank it out. Probably going to tag 149.80 before we're done. MTSU, MSTU, leveraged MicroStrategy. This is probably going to the moon when Bitcoin breaks out. TSLA, there's my weapon of choice on Tesla. That one potentially breaking on out. 19, 21, possibly 28, and possibly if we do the measured bounce. I mean, if we get to the measured bounce targets, that is. We're doing the measured bounce. Measured bounce targets. 21, 27, 42. And that's just the current one. If we do the bigger one, talking about 24, 34, 52, maybe even ridiculous, 118. And that's why I'm in TSLL, looking for these numbers up here. I'm actually going to put an alert at 32. And FSLR, I'll probably make my decision based on the Tesla chart, though, not on the leveraged long chart. FSLR, looks like we're flushing on down. AMD. Dun, 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 dun. Sitting on the roadmap line. SPXL. Sitting there at the target. We may push it on higher. Don't have to. CVNA. If S&P goes higher. CVNA, I do expect a retrace back to the roadmap line on the daily. Haven't done it in quite a few months. Just about a year, I think. Right there in December. So 10 months. And LC Lending Club. Boy, talk about, I don't know what they're doing to get out of their funk. Like, they announced they were going to discontinue P2P lending, person-to-person lending. It's been a dumpster fire here. Now, could they get out of there? Like, I don't even know what they're doing right now to make money. I still have P2P loans with them, and they're almost closed out. So I guess they've almost fixed that sore spot in their business. It was rife with fraud, and I'm not sure what they're trying to do now. Maybe turn around into more of a traditional lending institution, but I don't know. That chart, nasty right now. Does not say we're going higher to me. Just looks like sideways consolidation. We've got the resistance all the way up there, and if it got sparky, 69 on the upside, but that looks like a rough one. ALB, still under the roadmap line and may go lower, even though it's on the poppers list today. LVS, Las Vegas Sands, finding some resistance. If we can break through it, we could see a run on up here to 105. MU is just kind of consolidating here. Right there. Right in the roadmap line. If we can follow through on this measured bounce, potential on up here. 270 and 370. TQQQ. I see ya. Gaten. Dun, 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 dun. I don't think that Verizon is using Starlink. There is a different satellite thing with other companies, but if you believe in Starlink, the only partner is T-Mobile, and it's not just texting. It will be voice calls, and it'll be global coverage under T-Mobile. So it's pretty crazy, and that's a whole different thing than the other systems are just texting via satellite. You really have to dig into it, but Starlink is looking to do cell phone service direct to T-Mobile using T-Mobile's spectrum or whatever. And they may actually offer a phone and a phone plan that's directly on Starlink. Elon was teasing that on X a few weeks ago. So, Elon, Mr. Musk. And TQQQ, so this has a setup to rock and roll higher. Just waiting for this to... So if NASDAQ's going higher, this one's going to go higher. This has a high probability target up here. How high is the probability? Right there, 94% in the past on 17 trades. ICLR, bounce down. So decliners, SPGI, looking for that to come back down to the roadmap line. PI, looking for that to come back to the roadmap line. UNP, got smacked a little bit. That's probably going on down. First move down, retrace to the 618. I can see them without drawing them, but for those of you that need more visual cues, first move down, right there. Retrace to the 618. Next move down, we're hitting the 100%. We may extend it to the 1272. Right there. This could be a bottom on UNP. Watch for a break above the roadmap line. I drew that sloppy. For an indication we're going higher. IBM, probably coming back to the roadmap line. Back down here. 190. TSLQ. Well, that's why leverage cuts both ways, all right? Like when you're wrong, if you're like shorting Tesla with some of the other gurus I know about, kind of told everybody to short Tesla. Ouch. That's a lower low. Be careful. That's why you don't play options too, because you just would have gotten wrecked. TKO, back to the roadmap line. TXT. Yes, the maker of Cessna there doesn't look too hot right now. $75 on the downside, maybe. ORKT, oh, golly, nasty chart. I wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't touch it for now. TER, that one probably gonna make a lower low. Let's see, that high, that low, that high. Target down here around 93. Must be 10 o'clock. I'm like hearing a bunch of alerts kicking off. And CARR, Carrier Global. Probably come back to the roadmap line. Honeywell, coming back to the roadmap line. TSLZ, breaking lower. BA, on the bottom. I did have the potential for this to go one more little extension lower than what we had right there last week or whatever. Last week. ALKS. Wow. Choppiness. I wouldn't touch it. That's pharmaceutical, one of those 4 things. TSDD, getting wrecked. NEM may come back to the roadmap line, but we have this uptrend of lows. Oh, that was not very straight. Uptrend of lows. We hold on to that. We're probably going higher. If we break down below that, watch out for the retrace to the roadmap line right there. And TSLS. Now, NEM. Am I concerned? No, not at all. This looks exactly like these other pullbacks right there. And that one, that one, that one. They're echoes, okay? Look how many times it's done this. Same size move. Am I concerned? No. Do I get concerned down here? Maybe. Do I get concerned when we get below this? Absolutely. All right. That right there, just another correction. No big deal. Make another extension. Probably take a couple weeks. Earnings don't matter. Big deal. They missed on the top, missed on the bottom. People were optimistic. We rallied a crap long way from down here up here. Expectations were high. Disappointed a little bit. Gold goes higher. This will probably rocket on up. TSLS. Probably going to the lows. UBA. Tag the target. Retrace to the roadmap line. We tag the target down here. So yeah. That was the target on the bounce. Got it. Retrace to the roadmap line. Find support. NNE. Nanonuclear energy. Set the stage to go up. But we'll see. We don't really have any roadmap line or long-term trend, so be careful here. It could go and make a lower low. This could be this could make an extension down to 270. TEK. I know some people don't want to hear that on nuclear, but nuclear is not exactly a hot sector with a lot of liquidity. That right there, kind of a watermelon seed squeeze situation. We break below this, we're probably going lower. If we can break out, we'll go up to the target, right up in there. And an Apollo trade, hitting the target, looks like, maybe. In TLA, oh man, look at that. Ouch. No end to that in sight. All right, that's the end of the list. And bonus trades. Let's go hunt a bonus trade really quickly. Hopefully my tool is finished searching for them by now. I'll show you something I don't usually show you. Unless you're Termar Trading Lab. You have access to this channel. But let's go look. Let's go look and see what we got. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm being serious right now. GPS, HDB, and SUI. And out of those, looks like SUI is the only one that may be very interesting. Yeah, I guess HDB, not bad. 77% of the time. There's the 67.52, stop below 58. Upside potential of 3, 77%. 41 trades since, 41 trading days on 18 trades since 2001. And that's the only hang up right there for me. 18. This one, negative profit factor. Losses are bigger than the gains. Not awesome. Although that high should be right up there, but the limits of the pattern keep it down lower. And this one has 30 trades though. This is why I'm saying SUI looked better. And let's grab it and pop it up and draw on it. So we have 30 trades. That's the high. Very nice. That's the low. Very nice. Uptrend to the roadmap line. That's another plus. All right. Honestly, when I look at these, if the roadmap line is doing this and we're just like kind of doing this, I'm like, I question it seriously. Or if the roadmap line is doing this and we like did this and got the entry here, I'm certainly like, maybe that's not the best one. All right. The roadmap line being tilted down, not great for getting a trade looking for an upside. All right. A lot of people get confused on that. It's why don't I filter those out? You start filtering them out, then you miss good stuff. All right. There's conditions where that might be okay. Now, what would be a condition where that is okay? Let me show you. If we have a downward sloping roadmap line and we bust up through, we retest like this, and we get the entry here, that would be a good one. That's a potential reversal because then the roadmap line is going to do this, and we're going to arc up like this and hit the target. Then we'll probably retrace again and go again. That's a good one. All right, that's what I'm looking for. But when we're just crushing it down, or the roadmap line is like this, and we're just kind of going bloop, 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 bloop. That's not great. Nope. All right. Let's kind of clarify this a little bit. So this one busted up through. This is the classic. If you buy the market roadmap, you get the masterclass. Classic right here. We busted up through, came up, exhausted the trend, retraced, bounced, got the close above the 618. That's the pink line. It's just not labeled. And looking for that extension right up there. All right. That's a pretty nice one right there. $12.24 upside. There's the numbers. 151.29, 122.95. Profit vector on 30 trades, 1.55. So what does this look like over here? There you go. See how I was talking about? It was coming down. We busted up through, retraced. This is without seeing the rest of the chart. I kind of knew already. That's a nice potential. Nice potential upside right here. See, there's some nuance to when you go through hundreds of these and dozens, thousands of these, because they happen on all time frames. So you can literally see tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of these setups if you look at the minute charts on tons of stuff. Right there, that'd be the target. That looks pretty dang good. I'd be one to put some risk on that potentially. Now, this is a real estate investment trust. Real estate investment trusts don't always do this, all right? This is more of a double dip trade type situation. That's a beautiful upside, though. Look at the dividend payment, 94 cents. That's pretty smoking for something like this. Let's see, what's the payout? 2.65, not bad. It's just a normal-ish dividend payer. 2.65, not crazy. It's not like a 10 or 12%er. Certainly not like the 20%ers or 50%ers. I consider double dip stuff. I usually go after 8 to 10%, a little bit higher end. This is a little more benign, but that doesn't negate it from working right here. So that's the target. Usually takes 37 trading days on average. Could take longer than that. Could go faster than that. So we'll be looking for something out here in December, January, more than likely. Like that. All right. Bias for the day. Circling back up to the top. Let's talk about it real quick. What we're looking for. What we're watching. Bye, Robert. Hope you have a great day. Glanced off the roadmap line. So we need this to break through the roadmap line on the 15-minute. So that's initial positive sign right there. I know I got a lot of fib lines on here. Let's just start cleaning them up. So we've got this low. We've got this high. We've got a support zone right here. If we start breaking through it on the downside, start busting through, look down lower, 57.92. And the way things have been going, we may get the extensions down to that lower target right down there, 57.83. If we can turn back higher, the next resistance is right up here. Why am I using futures? Because they have all that extra data I was talking about. So we were looking for a preliminary break above this to go test this, break above that, to go on up. When I say on up, we're talking about on the daily chart, we'd be going cruising on up those extensions. And be looking for 61.57. Right there. All right. Clear as mud. This one right here, my bias, long, not just today, but my long-term bias here for the next couple weeks, looking for that 21.5, cautiously watching for support to start breaking down, especially as we head into the election. Like I said, the next 2 weeks pretty spicy. Tesla kind of tipping the odds that we may see some good stuff out of big tech next week, possibly. All right, I'll be back. Same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the notifications, put it in your phone, put a reminder. Thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting me and my family. Couldn't do it without you. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.